This is my review of Once Upon a Time, Season 4, Episode 1. Now here I'm going to be talking about my reactions to what happened in this episode, but if you want to see more detail about what happened, you can check out my blog write-up, and the link should be right here in the middle of the screen. Here I'm going to talk about kind of my reactions and show some pictures from the actual episode as I'm speaking about them. So let's start out with Regina and what I like to call Regina's revenge. Now, it was crazy that when Emma came back from the Enchanted Forest that she would bring back Marion, who is the dead wife, I guess in quotation marks, of Robin Hood, who is Regina's new boyfriend. And I think that Regina just felt the whole world kind of crushed down on her. I mean, obviously, her whole life has been affected by Snow White and the things that she's done, and now it's Snow White's daughter that's coming after her happiness. So because she's so angry, she needs to think of a way to get rid of Marion, but without physically getting rid of Marion, because obviously if she ended up dead, the first person they're going to go to is Regina. So she goes back to one of her old minions, Sydney, who was the magic mirror that she had, and if you know the Snow White story, you know how he works. And I completely forgot about Sydney. I mean, when I saw him in some of the previews that the ABC had posted, I was like, wow, okay, I completely forgot. But it's good to bring him back because she needs somebody who's going to blindly do whatever she says. And he's obviously still very much in love with her. And so temporarily she puts him back in the mirror so he can use his kind of magical genie powers that he has. And the first plan that she has is she's trying to find the exact moment when she met Marion, to go back in time and to kill her before Emma and Hook had the chance to rescue her. And I thought that was a good plan. I mean, obviously she'd have to go back in time, and it seems like that's pretty difficult. Only Zelena was able to do that. But then her second way that she decided that she was going to kill Marion is to find the writer of the storybook, which I never even thought about who had written the storybook. Because I remember when they had Pinocchio / August come in, and he was writing some things for the storybook. So maybe it's somebody who's like him, someone who's lived in the Enchanted Forest but also lived in the real world. Who knows? But anyway, so her new plan is that she's going to find that person who wrote it and then make that person change her story so she can have happy endings. And in general, she wants villains to start having happy endings, which would be great. I mean, it'd be bad for all the innocent, nice people like Snow White, but for me, I think it'd be really interesting to see kind of the bad person kind of win out. And that's kind of happened for Rumplestiltskin. I mean, he was this really bad, evil, dark one character, and now he's found Belle, and they're happy, and they're in love, and all that mess. And then the end of last season, they actually got married in some secret ceremony. And I think Rumple wants to actually be good, and I guess his gesture of being good is to give Belle his original dagger, because you know that dagger that he had given her was the fake one. So she thinks that she's able to control him, but really she's not. And Rumple went to Neil's grave, or Balefire's grave, I guess, his son, and promised that this time, you know, he's going to be good, and he's going to give all his love and attention to Belle, and he's going to be the best person just to make him be proud of him. Which he probably believes. I don't really, but he probably believes that, and he's probably going to try and stay on that for a while. And as his first step, he's giving the real dagger to Belle, without letting her know, obviously, because she doesn't know that she has a fake one. So now that they're married, Belle finds this really big house that they're going to have their honeymoon in, and they have no idea who owns it. So they're looking through, and it's nice, and Rumple sees this kind of small box that's on a table, and he looks at it like he may know who it belongs to, but he's not sure. And then after that, just to get her attention away from that, they're in this big ballroom, and he uses his magic to turn on the music and to put Belle in a really pretty dress, and they're all decked out in the traditional Disney Beauty and the Beast type outfits, which you can see the picture here because I had to show that. And so they're all happy, and things are great. And towards the end of their story in this first episode, Rumple goes back to this little box and performs some sort of magical spell on it. And all of a sudden this wizard's hat pops up. And it looks like it has stars in it. I was thinking that it looked like there were stars inside of it, as well as maybe like a universe, some kind of twisting clouds, which I have the picture up. I'm sure you can see it right there. But when I saw it, I automatically thought of Fantasia, which is a really old Disney movie. And that's exactly what I thought about, with things twisting around and stars in the hat, and it just all kind of had that sort of sense to me. And I'm not exactly sure who would belong to that hat. And at first I thought maybe it was Jackson or the Mad Hatter because it was a hat, but I think his hat wasn't shaped in that way, so it's probably not his. I just remember he had a big house in Storybrooke, but it's probably not him. I'm sure we'll figure out who that person is. Alright, so everything that I've avoided the Frozen part of this. And like I said in previous posts, I wasn't too excited about this storyline. I watched the movie just so I knew who the characters were, because I'm kind of old to be watching Disney movies now, but I didn't want to not know what the plot was going to be or who the characters were and their backstories. So I did watch Frozen, and I just didn't like it. And so they start out the episode, the very first scene, with going through the backstory of Elsa, who I guess is she's not even an evil queen, she's just a queen with powers to turn things to ice, which I guess is scary. I mean, I don't know. So the backstory, quickly, is that her parents, well, it's Elsa and she has a sister, Anna. Their parents were lost at sea when they were sailing out somewhere. And in the episode, right before basically a wave overtakes their plane, or their ship, plane, overtakes their ship, they put a message in a bottle and throw it overboard, because the mother said that Elsa and Anna needed to know the truth, and I guess they thought there was a chance that this one little bottle was going to reach their children somehow. I never understood the whole message in a bottle thing. It's like, what's the chances of that bottle getting to the exact person that it needs to get to? But I mean, it's a fairy tale, so you're going to assume they're going to get that bottle at some point. And so 5 years passed, and Anna is about to get married. So I'm guessing that's towards the end of the Frozen movies, where they're picking up that 5 years later. And Elsa gives Anna their mother's wedding dress and a snowflake pendant to wear at the wedding. And while Anna is trying on the dress, Elsa finds a diary from her mother and looks through it and sees that her mother had concerns over Elsa's powers and how dangerous it could be, and what kind of Elsa's future was, and that they were planning to go to one place. I think they said Ireland, but I can't remember. But they were really going to another location that they weren't letting anyone know. So Elsa automatically thinks, okay, they're leaving us because they can't handle her and her powers. And Anna tries to explain to her, of course that's not true, they love you, they're our parents, all that, normal stuff. So Anna is determined to prove to Elsa that her parents didn't leave because of that, because of her. So she goes to her future in-laws, the trolls, because if you remember, she's marrying Kristoff, who was raised by trolls. That was in the movie. And she goes to the king of the trolls, and he tells them, well, I did talk to your parents before they left. They were planning to go to Misthaven, but they didn't tell me why she was going. Okay, that's fine. But then Anna decides, well, I'm going to go and see what's there and try to find out what they were trying to find there. And she does that, without Elsa's permission. And what I didn't know about this was that from them talking, it sounded like Anna was supposed to get married the next day. So she basically put her wedding on hold to sail off to Misthaven. And when Elsa is talking to Kristoff about it, he tells her that another name for Misthaven is the Enchanted Forest. So there's a good chance that Anna is actually in Storybrooke somewhere, since a lot of people were brought over. I mean, some people weren't, because you know that Mulan and Princess Aurora and all of them, they were still in the fairy tale land even after the curse. So there's a good chance that there's a better chance that she's in Storybrooke, but there are some people who were left behind. So bringing it back to Storybrooke and Elsa being there, she's very scared of being in this weird place. She almost gets hit by a van, but she uses kind of ice to stop it. She gets cornered at one point because someone told Emma and Hook that some witch or something, I can't remember the word they used, but someone is attacking the town. So she goes there and hides in some little corner, and because she's so frightened, she conjures up this evil snowman like she did in the movie. And the snowman almost kills Marion, but Regina, I don't know, she killed it somehow. I can't remember exactly how. And then when she did that to save Marion said, well, maybe Regina really isn't a monster. But she has no idea what's coming to her. Now that she's on Regina's hit list, it's kind of over for her. And I hope she does continue to think that she's a good person, she's nice, but that's not going to work out well. So as back to Elsa, she was hiding, and a newspaper comes by her, and she picks it up, and it has a picture of Mr. Gold and Belle saying that they are married, and a picture of them in their shop. And she sees in the picture is the necklace that she gave Anna. So she finds the shop, breaks in, and vows that she's going to find Anna, which I'm assuming is the main plot now. She's going to be going through trying to find her sister. But I don't know why she can't just walk up to a person and say, I'm looking for my sister. I mean, I know it's going to have to be like a 22 episode event, but she doesn't really seem evil, so I don't know how they're going to keep her as being kind of this scary monster type person. I don't know. But it should be interesting at least to see how they set it up. I'm more interested in the Regina storyline than the Elsa storyline, and maybe even the Rumple storyline. Well, anyway, that's kind of the summary of what happened in episode 1. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue doing these for the rest of the episodes. This is just kind of a trial run to see what's gonna look like. And as I said earlier, if you want to hear more information about what happened this episode in more detail, you can go to my website where I did a blog post about it. And again, the link should be here somewhere. Also, if you want to contact me through Twitter, my handle is here towards the top of the screen. And I would appreciate any feedback, any comments on YouTube, on Twitter, or on my blog. And I think that's it. So I guess I'm left to thank you and hope you enjoyed my review. Thanks.